Get Gutsy episode number 194 with Melissa Ambrosini. Open wide. Welcome to Get Gutsy. I'm your host, Jenny Fennig, and I am so excited to be on this journey with you. A cutting-edge show blending business and spirituality, Get Gutsy serves up a potent blend of stories, lessons, and tips to help you make a massive impact in the world through your soul's work and your inspired life. No more going it alone, no more excuses. The world needs more brave women saying yes to leadership. Are you with me? Good. Let's get gutsy now. Hey there, it's Jenny. How are you? Super excited to welcome you to another episode of Get Gutsy. I'm recording this intro for you on a walk. This is a walk and talk. Yes, it is the morning after my amazing retreat for clients in my coaching school and my program Intuitive Power. We did this beautiful retreat for these women, and gosh, did we cover some amazing ground together. So I'm just feeling the after effects of that work, and I am preparing to lead a VIP day for clients in another program of mine. It's called Program Creatrix, and this is where they've been working on creating their own program, course, or retreat or combination so they can help more people and have more of all the things that they want in their life and their business. So, wow, it has been full in my world. How about you? May historically has been a full month for me. May is the month of my birth. My birthday is May 23rd, so that's coming up soon. And I just love the month of May. I just kind of go for it. And I was reminded by Facebook, you know how Facebook will tell you, 1 year ago or 5 years ago, and they'll show you a picture or video, what you were doing at that time. Well, 1 year ago, I was on my first ever trip to India. And wow, so this time last year, I was in India having this trip that I had envisioned and dreamed about and believed in for 10 years, and it became real 1 year ago. So I'm just sharing that story with you to help you open up to what you want to manifest and what you're ready for and what you deserve and what you desire, and how committed are you to making that real in the world, and then when it does show up, will you recognize it and will you step into it, given the investment it will require. All right, so we have an amazing guest for you today. Before I tell you more about her and what we talk about, I want to make a few announcements. All right, I feel like I'm like speaking to a class. I'm like, all right, we have some announcements, class. You might know or you might not that I originally went to college to become a teacher. I was going to become an English teacher, and then changed course a tad and majored in public relations. But the love of teaching and bringing together a group of smart, committed, passionate women, that has never left me. And I'm so grateful I get to do that in my business. That's what I do. So a few announcements. Okay. Number one, we have something cool coming up for you next week. It's a challenge that I've led a few times over the last several years. And it's been a while, though, since I have offered it up, and I'm going to do it again. It's called the Tribe Building Challenge. It's 5 days. They're just a car that went by. I'm really walking outside. 5 days to help you grow your audience, business, and confidence by focusing on nurturing and being intentional about the tribe that you are creating and bringing together and leading. It's very powerful 5 days. We will journey together Monday through Friday of next week. I believe it's May 14th, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. May 14th through the 18th. I think I got my dates right. I'll give you the URL, the link. You can go check it out, sign up. It's totally free for you. This is me offering this service to help you. It's very powerful because you'll come together. I'll be leading trainings each week during our in our pop-up Facebook group. teaching you about a different element of tribe building, and you will be doing work, you will be taking actions, you will be sharing, you will be connecting, and you're going to be amazed at how that feels and what happens in your own business and just in your own soul. It's just the energy that you're going to feel, and how people will really start seeing you stepping forward into higher levels of leadership. So you can go to jennyfennig.com/tribe challenge. That's jennyfennig.com/tribe challenge. And the Tribe Building Challenge is brought to you by two of my programs, Glow, which is my mastermind and high-level idea incubator for leaders, and my coaching school, Get Gutsy Coach Training School. So what I am doing right now is I am in the throes of enrollment for both of those programs. They begin at different points in June. And, this is where I get to really spread the message, connect with amazing women on a mission who want to be helped so that you can touch more lives with these gifts that you've been given. We've now graduated close to 100 awesome women from Get Gutsy Coach Training School. We just graduated our most recent class. So if you have been wanting to train to become a coach, come forward and you can go ahead and apply now. You can just reach out to my team, support@jennyfennig.com, and get more information there. You can also go to our page, coachtrainingschool.com, and you'll see everything there. We do fill by applications. You can fill out an application, and we'll take that next step together. There's a dog. This is so real. This is like #real life. There's a dog. The mail truck has just gone by. Okay, so that's the coaching school. And then the other piece is Glow, which is just, wow. That is my, it's hard to put into words other than to say this is the place you're going to go to get support as you make moves. You're going to, put your program out there. You're going to take your platform to another level. You're going to really commit to a solid content creation schedule. You're going to make offers. You're going to increase your prices. You're going to do all the things that you say you want to do or that you've kind of been doing, but it's not working as well as it could. You're going to do it all in Glow with my support and the support of the amazing women who are in that circle. We have a retreat in a glorious location. That's an option for you to attend as well. And I just want to talk to leaders who want that support and are tired of going it alone. So if you want to check that out, glowmastermind.com, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so those are my announcements today. I wish you could see what I see. I have this beautiful view in my neighborhood of trees and mountains and so much green and so many flowers. Here comes the mail truck again. Hooray. Oh my gosh. And you have to, just as a side note, and then I'll go into who our guest is today. When you're doing this work, you got to make sure you take care of your body. I've been serving for the last 2 days. We actually did a walk together on one of our retreat days, and that was so nice. We did a walk, and yesterday it was rainy though, but we did do yoga with my group. One of my coaching school graduates, and she also came through my mastermind. She's amazing. Her name is Kim Ferrara. She is since going through some of my programs, she then trained to become a Kundalini yoga teacher. So it was so awesome to have her teach our group over the weekend. Wow, what a powerful teacher she is. She has an inclusive fitness business, and she teaches other inclusive fitness business owners how to really do that successfully in their own business. So yeah, I was able to exercise this weekend, but today, preparing to serve more clients, my body said, get outside, Jenny, and exercise. So I've really learned to listen to my body. I've really learned that you can't just live in your head all the time as you do this work. And that is a perfect segue into our guest today. Her name is Melissa Ambrosini, and she's all about being in your body, listening to your body, being in your sensuality, being in your sexuality. Melissa was a guest on our show, a few years ago now, and she's back. She has a brand new book called Open Wide, and we're going to be opening wide during this conversation. She keeps it real. She does the work. She lives in Australia, and she's just so passionate about serving women. And she really goes into depth on what this means as you step into leadership and you help more people, you can really hurt yourself and damage your health and your relationships if you're not paying attention. So that is the theme of this episode. It's an essential conversation that we have. I know you're going to get so much value from this episode of Get Gutsy. And I want to remind you too that we are going to have, a few more episodes for you, and really, really awesome ones for the next several weeks, like into June. And then we're taking a hiatus, taking a summer sabbatical, maybe longer. I don't know. I'm just being honest with you that I'm feeling into what's meant to come through next in terms of the content I'm putting out into the world and how I'm serving and how I'm sharing in this way. So make sure you're taking advantage of the episodes as they're coming out and, sending good vibes as I hunker down this summer and see into, kind of just sit with what comes next from here. All right. And that really is the theme of Open Wide, this episode, Open Wide with Melissa Ambrosini. Open wide and trust what's coming through next. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I love you all and enjoy this conversation. Melissa Ambrosini, welcome back to Get Gutsy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, and I appreciate you getting up nice and early Australia time to connect with me and our beautiful audience. Where exactly in Australia are you?
Right now I'm in Sydney and it is 7:00 in the morning.
Woo! Now, do you live in Sydney or?
Yeah, we go between Sydney and a place called Noosa. Have you heard of Noosa?
No. How do you spell that? Noosa?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about an hour and a half flight north of here in Queensland, and it's just like heaven. Oh my God.
So that's like your retreat, like where you go to reset.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Reset, retreat. It's just ocean and park and hiking and relaxation and full nervous system reset, where Sydney is where we live in Sydney. We live in Bondi Beach, and it's a lot more hustle and bustle and busy.
Right. That's so great that you have it. And you are in summer there right now as we're recording this, correct? We're like opposite.
Well, we just hit autumn, so fall.
Okay, because we're about to move into spring. Technically spring here, although for anyone who's tuning into the video, we are full on having a snow day here. We have so much snow here, it's hard to even give you a quantity. And I told Melissa when we first tuned in, and I gave myself full permission today to just stay in my pajamas and robe, because this is how I show up when it's snow. In winter here. It's so cold. I had had like a celebration call for one of my programs that was wrapping today, and it was focusing on intuition and like being truthful and honest. And I'm like, this is truthful Jenny, that when it's snowy out, like this is the way I roll. And I think as your work with women, my work with women is about being real with yourself and not putting on the show and the facade. And like, I would just be getting dressed to talk to people in my office when I know they're in their pajamas. A lot of my people are in snowy places too. And I'm like, why am I doing that? And so it was this ultimate liberation. I said, I'm just going to do this with Melissa today. Like real Jenny, totally chill. So
I love that.
Thank you. It's been so fun. Like I really had to check myself a number of times. Like, I'm allowed to do that. That's okay. Like, I'm not going to get in trouble. It's all right. Like, no one's going to come get me and tell me that is unacceptable, Jenny. That is unprofessional. And if they do, then they're not meant to be in my community. But, you're a return guest to our show, Melissa. The first time I had you on, we were looking at mastering your mean girl. We, had this beautiful conversation. You shared about your struggle with addiction and poor health. You became a holistic health coach several years ago and really moved into entrepreneurship and focusing on mastering your inner mean girl so you could start living your truth. And we're having you back on the show now because you're, continuing to do extraordinary work, and you have a brand new book out called Open Wide. So I want to dive into what this work is all about and what really led you to doing this work at this point in your journey.
So this book came through me. The universe tapped me on the shoulder and was like, you need to write this book for women because they need a manual on how to navigate relationships with themselves and with others. So basically, anyone who wants to experience deep love, rocking relationships, and soulful sex, this book is for you.
Okay. Tell us more. So how did you get here? Was this, you realized that you weren't doing this in some way, or you realized like you just dove into it and you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that other women aren't doing this. Like often there's a personal path that got us here. It made us realize this was so essential. What was your story?
Definitely. That was my case. I, we're born into this world and no one tells us how to navigate our relationships. And if you're anything like me, you fumble, you flounder, you make really poor choices in men, you make really poor choices in friendships because you don't know. You just don't know what you don't know. And so for me, this is very much birthed out of my own personal experience and my own personal journey to discovering what deep love and rocking relationships and soulful sex is about. I didn't know that any of that existed. I didn't know until I found myself, and then until I met my soulmate, where we went even deeper together. And so this is very much about my story, my journey to discovering these things, deep love and rocking relationships and soulful sex. And it's basically a no BS guide on how to cultivate a beautiful relationship with yourself and others.
So let's break down some of these steps or truths that you share in the book that our listeners can really just take in and start applying right now.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Bless me.
Such a cute sneeze. Bless you.
So could you please repeat that question for me?
Yeah, let's break down. What are some of the top ways that our listeners can take in some of this wisdom and start applying it so they can revive their relationships? A lot of our listeners are, entrepreneurs or women who are, rocking it in their work in some way. And often the relationships do take a back seat because we, as you know, you pour so much into the work, you love it, you're helping people and you're getting, fueled by that, and like the money's coming and that can feel a bit intoxicating. And then we let the relationships fall by the wayside, and that is not sustainable. So, to our audience of women who are, maybe in that camp where they like forgot who it was they were with, or maybe they're single right now and they want to bring in a soulmate. How can we start opening up to deeper relationships?
Well, it all starts with you. It starts with you and your relationship with yourself first, because that is the most important relationship of all. It doesn't matter what's going on outside of you. If you don't have a beautiful relationship with yourself, you're not going to be able to cultivate beautiful relationships with others. So it starts with self-love. It starts with unconditional self-love and getting to a place of feeling that within yourself. And then that will ripple out into all of your other relationships. But it starts with you. Cultivating deep love and rocking relationships comes back to you, because we teach people how to treat us. And if we are treating ourselves like a piece of crap, then that is how other people will treat us. But if you treat yourself with such deep love, reverence, and respect for the divine sovereign being that you actually are, then other people will do that as well. But it comes back to you first. Like, we have to treat ourselves with such love and reverence and respect first. So that's the first place to start.
Yes, it's so important. I'm glad that you bring that up and focus on that in your work. It's challenging for women. We've been conditioned to put ourselves last, to not be selfish, and to, be a martyr. And it doesn't work. I'll give you an example today. I've shared this with some of my clients and students in various programs. I had several calls today, and I was so proud. I think you can appreciate this, Melissa, and I'm going to be just super open about it, because wide open. I'm going to be wide open. Today is the start, and we're recording this, is the start of my moon cycle, start of my period. And I've really done a lot of work in getting more of an appreciation for my body and my cycle and the lunar cycle, and understanding how that impacts me. And, that was never anything that I was taught in school or by any of the women who were leading me along my journey as a teenager and as a young one. It's something that I discovered on my own, and I'm so grateful. And then, teachers and books and things like that. And today, didn't know it was going to come today, but it did. And I knew this morning I was feeling very tired, and I was kind of feeling guilty for sleeping more than I would this morning. Like, I should be up now, and I just couldn't. Like, I just needed my rest. And a little bit later, I realized, oh, my moon cycle is starting today. No wonder I was so tired. And then to take that a step further, I'm married. I have 3 kids. And so I've learned that, especially on the first day of my cycle, I just want some alone time. I want quiet. I need to immerse myself in a bath. And so I said to my husband, listen, it would be great if you could take the kids out to dinner tonight without me. And I would love to just be able to soak in a bath. I started my period today, and I want to read a book. And he's like, great, absolutely. And so that for me was self-love. That was me saying, Jenny, slow down. Trust this point in your cycle. And, as you said, it starts with you. That was the best way I could love myself today.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well done.
Thank you.
And you also practice something else that I call in the book, which is called crystal clear communication. So by practicing that with your partner, that is how we do relationships, and we do relationships well. So good on you for practicing that.
Thank you. All right. So crystal clear communication. Let's dive deeper into that, because that is an area. Excuse me for a moment. Let me just pause this. I have multiple children at my door. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I told Melissa, let me pause because I have multiple children at my door. And so I had to crystal clearly communicate with my husband, get the kids. So let's dive deeper into that, because I know that's a source of tension in many people's relationships, where we don't know how to communicate our needs, or it just moves into fighting. And how do we get better at this?
The only way you get better at anything is by practice. So if you want to master the piano, you got to practice.
Right.
If you want to master your mean girl, you got to practice. If you want to get better at push-ups, you got to practice. And same with, if you want to get better at crystal clear communication, you have to practice. And crystal clear communication is communicating from your heart, not from your head. It's sitting down with your beloved and saying, I feel this, or whatever. It's not, you did this to me, I feel like this because of you. That is not crystal clear communication. And crystal clear communication is not thinking that the other person can read our mind, because they can't. So we need to practice crystal clear communication with ourselves and with everyone around us. And the more that we practice it, the easier it becomes. It's a muscle.
Yes. What you just said, people can't read our mind, like that right there is gold. And we want that, like, why can't you just read my mind? How did you just not know that? And we're all in our own worlds. We have things going on. I don't know always what's going on for my husband or for my children. And I know everyone tuning in, we have people in our lives that matter to us, and we have to be in that mindset that people cannot read our minds. It's not fair to expect them to. And so our job is to be clear about, here's what I need right now. And I love what you said about, speaking from the heart. Like, can we be in that heart center and be able to, speak from that place and receive from that place? And I bet that diminishes the miscommunication or the arguments when we can come from the heart instead of the head or logic, or kind of not being kind with how we're saying things.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what else? We're starting with ourselves. We're looking at crystal clear communication. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. That's a big piece of your book. Are people like, what's going on with sex lives right now? You know, we've got tech, we've got, you know, communication at our fingertips. How is that affecting the way we are sexually engaging with our partners?
Well, I think, you know, sex is a sacred experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is a sacred, godly experience with, you know, unconditional love,
Mm-hmm.
pure presence. It's like, it is such a beautiful, sacred act. And for most of my life, I was having junk food sex. I like to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was just about getting off, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, there was no communion, there was no unity, there was no divine communion,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know that that's what it was really about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for me now, it is a godly experience. It is an experience with oneness. It is experience with unconditional love. And you don't have to have a partner to do this. You can do this by yourself as well. You know, this is something that you can experience by yourself.
Beautiful.
But your body is your temple, and how you treat it is so important. And so I really want everyone to think, you know, is my lovemaking currently a junk food experience, or is it a deep, divine, soulful experience? Because you can have that. Mm-hmm. You can actually have the most beautiful, unifying, meditative experience if you choose. And that's what soulful sex is.
So how can we bring this into our lives? Are these some of the, you know, you cover this in your book. Is it like foreplay? Is it like, what is it that can move somebody from like junk food sex or like not really having much sex to this sacred communion? What are some ways that you have discovered and that you want to share with
Well,
people?
It comes back to you, like, what's your intent? Like, what is your intent? You know, my intent is to unify with my love. Is to experience that with my love. It's to, you know, be totally vulnerable and heart cracked open and real and honest and raw and vulnerable in that moment, because that is when we grow and expand. So the best way to experience is to come back to your intent. Like, what is my intent? Start with yourself. Start exploring your own body. Get to know your own body. You know, love your body. It's because if you can't do it with yourself, then you're not going to be able to do it with anybody else. So start with yourself, and then, really look at the intent that you have when you go into the bedroom. What is my intent? Is it to commune with my lover? Is it to be cracked open wide and be vulnerable and real and honest and go deep with my lover? Or is it purely just to get my rocks off? And if that's your intent, then own it. Like, own it. It's fine. Just own it. But if you want to go deeper and richer, then you've got to open wide to that. You've got to open yourself up to being vulnerable and honest and authentic.
Is that really the spirit of what open wide is? Honest, authentic, vulnerable, and how that touches all the areas of your life, not just sex, but everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in every moment, you're either open or you're closed. You're either open to the taxi driver or you're closed to them. You're open to the lady behind the counter at the coffee shop, or you're closed to her. You're open to your partner, or you're closed to them. You're open to your children, or you're closed to them. Or you're open to the person who cuts you off in the traffic lights, or you're closed off to them. So in every moment, you're either open or you're closed. But we came here on earth to be open wide, because when we're open, we're in our heart. When we're closed, we're in our head. Okay, so the whole premise of this book is about cracking you open wide, every cell in your entire body, so that you can be the fullest expression of yourself, so that you can live in your heart space, because that is why we're here. We're not here to live from our head. We're here to live from our heart.
So true. So true. You just said it. I'd love to, with the time we have left, dive into more of your entrepreneurial journey. You know, like obviously you have this book and you developed this platform. We first had you on, talking about your Mean Girl book and, mastering that Mean Girl. And I want to just plug into, as a businesswoman, what have these last few years taught you? How have things evolved for you as you've continued, serving people and discovering this next level of what you're here to teach and talk about?
It's been such an awesome journey. I love, my entrepreneurial journey. I love being a creative. I love being an open vessel for the divine to work through me with my books, my podcasts, my programs, my online work. I love being an open vessel for that. And it's so much fun. I love being a voice for women. I love helping women. I love inspiring them. I love helping them rise to their fullest potential. This is what I'm here to do on this earth. And I absolutely love it. And it's evolved. And, the work that I'm doing just gives me so much joy, so much joy and so much pleasure. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to continue to do it and see where it takes me. My whole life and my business and my life is built on intuition.
Yes.
So my whole life revolves around, well, what does my intuition say? Is it a hell yeah? If it's not a hell yeah, it's a no.
Right.
That is how I run my business and my life. If it is not a hell yeah, it's a no.
Yes. Oh my gosh, girl, I'm with you. And when you said intuition, I'm like, yes, I wish more women would get that. I want to celebrate that from the rooftops. This year, I actually birthed a brand new program called Intuitive Power, because I wanted to create a space for women to celebrate intuition. And again, that's being in your body. That's listening to, what? Day one of my cycle, I need to rest. I need to replenish. I need to, that's good. That's a beautiful thing. And honoring the moon and understanding we cycle with the moon. We are the moon. It's magic. And when we bring women together and remind them of this, it's like you, I'm just so grateful that we can do this, like that this is a thing. So in terms of, how do you show up, every month in terms of what you're doing work-wise? Are you doing in-person gatherings? I remember looking at your website once, I felt like you had some kind of goddess circles and you have your programs. Like, just kind of give us a sense of how right now your business is designed.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So yes, I used to run goddess groups weekly, but I don't do that anymore. So I've just launched Open Wide, the book, which is out everywhere now. You can get that at melissaambrosini.com/open wide to get a copy of that book.
Great.
I've got my podcast, which I do every week. There's an episode that comes out every Monday Motivation. And then there's an interview that comes out every Thursday, which I love.
Okay.
So that's really fun. And I've got all my online programs and products and mentoring programs that I do, and my online meditations. And I just finished touring around Australia with my husband, Nick, for our Open Wide tour. We created a show together. He is a musician and he wrote a song called Open Wide, and my book's called Open Wide. So we decided to create a show, a different experience that brought music, motivation, and meditation together. So it was kind of like a Coldplay concert mix between Tony Robbins.
Awesome.
So it was pretty awesome. It was so much fun. And we've got a team that we mentor in a program called The Path to Freedom, which we do together as well, which is really, really fun. Mentoring women to unlock and men to unlock their full potential and create businesses and lives that they absolutely love. So yeah, that's just a little snippet of what we've got going on at the moment. And we just love it so much fun.
Yeah. And your point is that this will evolve as you evolve. So, we'll do things that in a certain season of our business and our life, and then we move into a new season and we're called to serve in a different way. And it's so cool what you all created together with the tour. It's like, he's a musician, you have this new book, like, why not do something like that? And so you went around, you connected with your community all around Australia. And, was that in conjunction with the launching of the book, right? Kind of getting out there and meeting your readers. Yes.
Yeah. And him celebrating his music as well.
How is it to work with your partner?
It is the best thing ever. It is the best. He is the best business partner. I am just in awe of him. I love being in business and life with him. It's the best. But we have to set boundaries for sure, because the lines get blurred sometimes, and it will be 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and we're still talking about work. And I'm like, whoa. No. We are lovers first and foremost. Our lovers is our first role. Then we're business partners second. And so, sometimes, and we get so excited because we're so entrepreneurial and we have all of these amazing things that we're working on. Like, he's a musician and he's producing a movie and he's like got a million things that he's doing. He's the CEO of like 4 companies. So he's got so much going on. He's created apps. He's done so many things. But for me, it's like, whoa, okay, no. We are lovers first and foremost, business partners second. So, we have to put some lines in the sand and we have to put some boundaries, like no work talk at night. We're very strict with that sort of thing. And we just have to make sure that we stick to those boundaries that we've created.
Yes. That's really wonderful insight. I've heard that from, many colleagues of mine who work with partners, and oh my gosh. Yeah. Your lovers first. And that's, it's important for those of us who don't work with our partners. But, for me, I'm a mother and with my husband, we have 3 kids, and we can be lovers and, partners over and above. Yes, we're also parents, but you do need to prioritize your relationship. That's something that Steve and I have always done a pretty good job of that, but, you can get lost. And we went through a period where we used to do regular date nights, and those just fell off the calendar. And we realized that needs to come back. And so we've been doing those now for the last few months. We have a sitter come on Mondays. And what's neat is that he's a sports television producer. And here in the States, we have what's called the Directors Guild of America. And this is the governing body that votes on the film nominees for the Oscars. And he gets all the films sent to him during award season. And it's very hard for us to watch the movies because we have these young kids and most of them aren't appropriate for children to watch. And so we're like, I have every awesome film here. And so now we have a sitter. We don't go out. We eat, him and I, and we go down to our little, our basement where we have this big TV, and we watch a film together. And the babysitter keeps the kids upstairs. And, just by us bringing that back and just, sitting next to each other on the couch, not having the kids on us, needing to parent, it's like magic. You just remember what brought you together to begin with. And, for him and I, we love really great films. Like, we love that. Like, we are like film nerds, we're like, oh my gosh, like, we'll look at scenes and how it was shot. And, and so I want all of our listeners to take that in. If you work with your partner, you need to listen to what Melissa has to say, lovers first. And if you have all these other things going on, like, don't neglect your relationship. I mean, that's what your book is dedicated to. Melissa's bringing that back. So everybody, melissaambrosini.com/open wide, go get it. I mean, your relationship is so important, and no success in the world is worth losing a treasured relationship over, which can very much happen. I mean, have you seen that in your journey, Melissa, with a lot of successful, people, and they kind of forget who their people are on that journey?
Definitely. Yeah. And, sharing your journey with someone and with others that you love is just so rewarding. So yeah, don't forget that.
Don't forget them. All right. Final question, Melissa. This is something I ask all my guests. You answered it when you came on many moons ago. So you can think about it in the term of, since mastering your mean girl and where you are now with Open Wide, in that time period, what is the gutsiest move you've made? And how does it impact your life and work at this very moment?
I guess, I've made some big gutsy moves financially, which have really stretched me in terms of my beliefs, and forced me to master my mean girl and practice everything that I preach. So I guess, that financial, big gutsy financial growth has been huge, but so rewarding, and forced me to really step into everything that we've spoken about. So it's been, and I love doing things that stretch me, because there's growth always on the other side.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you bring up money, because that, for women can be a big trigger point, and they're so petrified of making an investment or, doing this or doing that. Because I think so many of us were conditioned that, like, it's not going to come back. If you spend it, what's going to happen next? And so we have these, ridiculous thoughts. Like, my fear is I'm going to be out on the street, like I'm going to be homeless. And we have to look back and where that came from, where we have these original messages from. And, as you said, Melissa, in order to stretch into those new realms, we have to be willing to make these moves and be very clear about why we're doing it, and then be willing to, put the work involved into, capitalizing on that investment or making good on that decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thanks so much for being here. Melissa, thanks for your wisdom. Congratulations on the new book. Many blessings. I know our listeners are going to get so much value from it. I love those two words, open wide. So with that, I send everybody so much love. This is Jenny Fennick sending you so much love, light, and faith as you get gutsy. I'll see you next time.
Hey, this is John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and you're listening to Get Gutsy with Jenny Fennick. Gutsy leaders unite and ignite.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Get Gutsy as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. Are you responsible for leading and growing your spiritual business? If so, I have a free tool for you that will help you spread your message like wildfire. It's called the Sacred Marketing Puzzle, and it's a one-page PDF guide that simplifies the often mysterious and confusing world of marketing. When you use sacred marketing tools to amplify your message, you'll provide huge value to your tribe and grow your business. What are you waiting for? Go to jennyfennick.com/puzzle to get yours instantly. That's jennyfennick.com/puzzle. Gutsy leaders, unite.